This conference will now be recorded.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't know if I could say the Pledge of Allegiance without that thing saying it's recording. It's part of my brain now. Okay, we will start off with clerk items. The first item is the organizational and regular board meeting minutes. Does anybody have any corrections, comments, or questions?
No, I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
Both of them?
Yes, on both of them.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much, Anita. Adirondack Planning Forum, that's the APA days, and I believe Katie is going to go to that to represent us. And Kimball will also be there presenting, so hopefully I'll run into him.
And it's sold out at this point.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Good, glad we got in.
At this point, I guess we need to approve.
Yes.
Katie's going, so do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Katie, for representing us. Item C is Lake Placid Marathon course revision. Does everyone have a chance to look at that? I did talk with Chuck Dobson about it, and what I got out of it, even though the other way is better for the village and easier with the numbers they had showing up, and said it just wasn't possible the other way, so they're going back to their old. So, does anyone have any questions here, or do I have a motion to accept the new course?
I'll make the motion.
He's not taking part.
What's that? No, I was just back on the
They're
road.
going that way and around, coming back, coming back to the old.
They go around that down park side and they shoot out. They come back up the back way, right?
That's awful.
Awful for
It's the
you.
worst marathon finish ever.
Yeah, because you're going straight.
So we have a first, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I think the questions that I had just was to make sure that there's like some really good communication and mitigation for affected streets, given that a lot of it's residential and maybe some of it's residential.
Is it? The use?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one now.
Is that
Well,
the
then
only
they're
one
coming
now?
up. and
They're coming up,
Right. Yes.
They used to, they do now. Oh, yes, when they come up back up to the old.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just because it's kind of like winding through the streets.
So they
there.
just go past the park and keep on going straight instead of last year they stopped.
Right.
Yeah.
But he said he had, what, 2,000 or 2,500 people.
Can I leave you with
Well, they
the top
did
of
use
that
the
to
old
Chuck?
one
And-
last year.
Yeah, I'll do
Right,
that.
they couldn't use it, so they.
Okay, and item D is our new hire for the police department.
I'll make the Catherine Bowden.
Yep, is there anything more we need to know on that? Probably, you should tell I'm not prepared on this. Does show the starting salary of,
According to the contract.
according to the contract,
Mm,
And it's a probationary appointment,
for 6 months.
whatever it is in the contract.
Has she begun the class
No.
No, the
Class
academy's
starts
open
May
next.
1st.
yet? Okay, so it's after, okay. Probation.
Okay, I think we covered all the check boxes there, so do I have a motion to
I make
approve
a
it?
motion.
I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Great. Much needed. So that means we need 2.5 people for parking enforcement now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the good news and the bad news, right?
right.
Is there anything else to come from clerk?
Yes, this is something I emailed all of you about last week, but it didn't make it onto the agenda. Carol is here to discuss a potential project at St. Eustace. Brad has already heard about it. From his perspective, it's fine, but he wanted to make sure the board is all on board with it. So Carol, if you want to describe the project.
Okay, so this is just a continuation of our composite roofing for the St. Eustace Church. It's the steeple that never got done 3 or 4 years ago. We have the materials, but Champlain Roofing, because of timeline, was unable to do it. So Champlain Roofing is owned by a different company now, and all the roofing companies around here did not want to tackle this. So it was suggested we reach out to a steeplejack who originally did this steeple in 2003, not the same one. This is a national company called Inspired Heights, appropriately named. Anyway, so it's better to go through because it's a signed contract. And they have it down. So their approach is with both bosun chairs, you know, that they hang on from the top. So, and in order to get the materials up there, they use a pulley system. They do not want to go down our lawn side and to the flat area in the front. They want to they'll have just a cab pickup truck, and everything will be lowered and raised from that pickup truck. And they want to, if I appropriately in this picture here, so they want to, they said they wanted to just put it in the road here, kind of exactly where this is. And the pulley system would go from the back of the pickup truck up to here. But you don't want anybody walking on that sidewalk anyway, okay? So my suggestion, in order to get them even a little bit closer, don't go over the new curb here, beautiful new curb, but approach it, have the truck approach it from our driveway. And, you know, you just drive on the sidewalk. And then, and if you do that, that also allows for them to be parked there, through traffic to go through, and parking still on the right side of that road going down. Do you understand? No?
So the supply truck's going to park in your parking lot?
Nope.
On the sidewalk.
It'll just drive, it'll drive onto the sidewalk.
It's a pickup truck, and it'll park just about, not exactly side by side with the steeple, a little bit uphill.
But on the park?
But yes, and I don't want them to drive on the curb. They would approach it by going on our driveway and drive down to that point, okay? Because, you know, you don't want to damage the sidewalk. Anyway, they're insured. They got a building permit. And it'll probably take about 2 to 3 weeks. The truck will only be parked there while they're working during the day. Any questions?
No.
So just to confirm, the proposal then is to leave the road accessible
Oh, yeah.
for traffic, but
Close down the
But
sidewalk.
close down the sidewalk.
Which you'd want to do anyway with a pulley system draped over the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and is there, you know, would there be sort of anything in terms of if people are coming up there, just like a little route around for pedestrians on the other side of the truck, or
Well,
just shut?
as all during the winter months, when there was snow or ice on that sidewalk, they go in the road anyway.
Mhm.
So that's where they would have to go. They would have to go in the road.
What 3 weeks are they going to do?
They're supposed to, they have another, this is a national company, they have another job in Virginia right now. They hope to come up here by the May 1st. It's a Monday. They probably would start work on Tuesday. That's based on, you know, this, their business is subject to
So you
weather.
hope
So
to be out of there by late Memorial Day.
I'm hoping they're out of there by the 19th.
Oh, great.
Which
Okay.
is, or the middle of that week. The 19th is a Friday. I've only booked accommodations for them until the 19th.
Two-sided calendar.
That's right. So they're going to be staying, I think it's going to be a crew of either 3 or 4 men. And they're staying at Peggy McKellar's rental property.
Okay.
It's quite a sight.
Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion to accept Carol Nevilin's plan.
Second.
Thank you very much.
And the only thing I would add to that is just coordinating with Chuck and Brad.
Yeah, Brad's already well aware.
Yeah,
I
Brad-
included Chuck on one of the emails, but I'll make sure that he saw it.
Yeah, Brad, I spoke with Brad probably two weeks ago about this, and because at the time I said, do you want me to come before the board? I think it was last minute he decided that I should come. Anyway, I'm here.
Insurance wise, is there anything we need to do?
I have workman's comp and a certificate of insurance from them.
For you.
Yeah, and they have it also, the building permit has that.
Okay.
I just-
First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. Good luck. Anything else to come?
That's my only addition.
Under treasury items, item A is warrant affidavit number 17. I assume someone looked that over. Jackie, welcome back. A motion to accept. Do that.
Today.
No, Friday.
all the materials.
Motion to accept.
Oh.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Budget adjustments, we've been told these were coming.
Many of them. I went over questions Jackie had and anybody had any questions.
The one I just thought of the one that I forgot. Our agreement with the town to run the beach, that went up. And it went from,
Lifeguards.
wasn't,
I'm guessing, I don't know.
But does the town pay for the lifeguards or does the
The town
park?
pays for the.
it went from 31 to 33, so it was just like, and I didn't understand why, that's all.
It's based on percentage, not fixed rate.
Okay. To manage the beach for
Yeah.
us? Okay.
Assessed value percentages, right?
Needed to
Oh, it's upstairs.
Okay, so that was my only question. I didn't know what happened. I thought it maybe was lifeguards because it was August and so,
No, assessed valuation.
okay.
Okay, are we good?
That's why new tennis nets, because they left them up all winter.
Yeah.
So the question is, because I brought it up about something else. So are the village people getting, do they get double whacked? Because we get double whacked in the fire department because we pay.
Actually, we don't.
You said you don't? Well, we get.
The assessed valuation is 70/30, and because we get hit twice there, the village pays half, the town pays half. If you truly want it to be assessed value, then you could say yes, we do.
So that's what I'm just asking. So is it like the same thing?
There are certain departments within the town that the village doesn't get taxed on, parks and highway. Isn't included in their basis when they go out for taxes, so.
I'm not trying, I'm just
No,
asking.
absolutely. They, when they hired Sharice Gatlin on the town highway, so that she don't get charged for her salary because it's flowers that aren't going to be done in the village, in the town. So it's, and parks is the same way. We get them. Lots of little ones.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, did we have a first and a second?
Did we? No.
I
I don't think so, no.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I,
Very much. Anything else to come from treasurer? Okay, anything under new business? Going once. Old business?
I got some stuff. I emailed Brad and Mindy and Art, but our docks have been built. We're just waiting for an install date, which we should have this week.
Great.
So they're keeping on track. They hope to have it in, obviously, before Memorial Day. Waiting on, water temperature maybe to go up. They don't need to dive. The way our anchoring system is, nobody needs to get in the water, but.
No cribs. No cribbing.
Right, no cribbing. Website, now that you're all back, just remember to send Anita some photos. I would like.
Do we
to-
want to do that, or do you want me to bring, are we gonna, just someone let me know a date.
Well, do you want to have them done, professionally done?
He was.
Well, he's gonna.
Oh, you were gonna do them.
Let me try.
Maybe
Let
we
me
can
try.
also, next week in the workshop, do you
Oh,
want to bring your
sure.
camera? since
Sure,
everybody else
just,
will be around?
someone just remind me, and I'll be
Okay.
happy to.
Yeah, I'll remind everyone.
If it comes out
Sure,
wrong.
yeah,
They
let's
want,
have
yes.
it.
Oh gosh, are we gonna be dragging too? I thought that was still on the.
I might have to go
Does anyone have any suggestions on how we'll be dressed? And do you want coat and tie or casual, or what has anyone got in mind?
Well, I know what I would like, but hey, I want everybody draped in an
Your prom
American
outfit.
flag.
Your prom outfits.
You guys call it, I'm happy to do it.
Dale sweaters.
Yeah.
Dance
The
sweater,
official,
Oh my God, it'll be 90 degrees that day.
official wear of.
That's right, correct. It's only on for 10 seconds,
Right.
right? Yeah, Dale sweaters.
Dale sweater?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Lake Placid tuxedo.
It is.
The Lake Placid one, if you've got it.
And then the last thing I have is parking. So you were copied in, but Chuck, because Stacy is going away on vacation, we did finalize the rates. We left everything the same, meaning the non-transferable for business workforce was $150. The transferable was $1,000 for the first 1 to 5, and then $1,250 for the 6 to 10. We talked about, here's what's open. We talked about limiting the transferable to 10. We need to, it's not going to impact the non-transferable, but this is still
It's worth
some.
a discussion.
It is, it's still an open item. Then Chuck had brought up that there are some people, and it's between 6 and 10, who purchase permits who are not residences and who don't work on Main Street. They just purchase them.
And which permits do they get?
They get the non-transferable.
Just to have.
It's just if they're
Just
coming down.
half.
So you're talking about the
Street,
150?
Yes.
Yeah, and I would think that you'd have to show that you pay rent,
Okay.
or that you work for someone and bring in a pay stub. And if not, then I think we need to come up with a fee of like
But, all right, let's go back to, we talked about offering residents. We still need to figure out how we're gonna manage this.
7 until 10 or 11.
Exactly. Would that alleviate the need for this parking permit? Do you know any of these people?
I know one person, I know one family who does it.
Okay.
I know a lot of people who live out on the lake do it. They'll leave a car here.
I mean, the whole intention behind it is A, because you lived on Main Street,
Yeah,
or because you work on Main Street. Because let's face it, we're losing money on every spot.
Yeah.
And to give it to someone who's just coming in because they don't want to feed the meter, I mean, I think you've got to charge accordingly for that. I don't think you
Are
can.
you talking about on Main Street or on the ones up in the?
Any-
Parking.
permit.
Permit.
Yeah. So going back to what you said, Mindy, I mean, they're like people.
I mean, do we just,
So they don't vote here.
do we come up
Generally,
with something like maybe a $500 fee for the year?
But then,
I say just don't issue them. We don't have enough parking spaces anyways. I
Okay,
would just not issue them.
I'm okay with that.
okay. Then I will.
so you would need proof of,
Residents of, on Main Street or
Right,
that
and
you work.
you work.
That is on the application itself. Okay, so we'll not issue that.
And we all like the idea of having, I guess, a local shopping
We
Yeah.
do.
time period.
We just have to figure out how we're gonna manage
Right.
it.
I think the one thing about that, I mean, I really support the idea. I think it's great. I think the one sort of tricky thing is just like the whole, like anybody who works, or if you're bringing your kids there to like pick out anything after school, that kind of thing, that time period isn't gonna work for them. Now, that may or may not be a concern, but I think if like, if the
It's not.
sentiment is
I hate
around
to say it's, I
accessibility.
hate to say it's not, but the whole idea is that
Prime time
it's
on Main Street.
we can't give prime time away from the people that are paying high rents to
Yeah,
have their
but you
stores.
could do it, we can, but.
But in the
when
morning
there's
when it's slower,
empty spots anyway, then it's a bit of a.
and that's where I say I would like it to not be 9 to 11, but 7 to 11, and try to encourage locals to maybe go out and have breakfast on Main Street, then do their shopping, be done by 11
And I think, I don't know if it was you or you that said voter registration.
for locals.
Is that what we had
I
decided?
think that was the
But
only
how do
thing
you know
that
they're
seems
local?
fair. Voter
Yeah,
registration.
if you can vote
But
here,
then you get
then
another hanger tag.
you can reserve your.
I'll have to, I can't remember what Skinny Atlas used, but it wasn't voter registration. I'll go back, I mean, but if that's the easiest thing,
Because I mean, you can't very well do utility bills because you don't have to live here to have a utility bill.
that's
What
true.
about DMV registration?
But
You
people
can have your
just,
car registered here. if you
Yeah.
Voter
want.
registration would do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think voter registration.
okay,
And then the tag, would be
It would be
A
a sticker.
hanger,
We had
right?
talked about a sticker.
yeah, we did.
oh, it's a sticker?
Yeah.
Okay.
But some of those permit parkings are overnight, so people are gonna be in there overnight. How many?
This is
open
for
up?
parking on Main Street itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
7 to
right.
11.
Right,
Yeah, this is
It's
just.
just so locals can go up if they want to go shop
The
quick
whole idea is
or-
that it really doesn't get busy up there until after 11, so give the locals a chance to go and get in and out before it gets busy.
And a lot of locals don't even realize it's not busy then,
So a
so.
lot of stores don't
we
open till
encourage them.
10, right?
Well,
A
we
lot
talked
more
about.
opening at 9 now.
Yeah,
With
okay.
us,
'cause-
yeah.
Well, so you were the one who suggested 11.
Till 11.
Till 11. Are you okay with 11? I
Oh, I
mean,
think so.
okay.
I think by the time things get rolling, it's
I'm
starting to
good
get
with
busy.
11. I was just, I
Yeah, no,
mean,
it's fine.
okay.
And I think the reason, Janet, they wanted to go earlier was, so if you wanted to go to the bagel place, so you
No,
wanted to
no,
go.
I'm thinking 11 is late.
One of the
I
other
think
things
it gets
that,
busy at 10, 10:30.
yeah, I think one of the other things that came up when we were talking about this before, was Mindy, you were saying that there were some issues with the meters at the upper lot, and that they had some significant battery issues in winter months. I think that seems to me like a priority issue, because, I mean, if we're talking about, you know,
Well,
making
we
sure that we're getting the right
approved
revenue
their
in.
pay and
Right,
maintenance
so-
agreement at the last meeting, so
Just
that
gonna say
issue
that.
will
We'll
go
go
away.
away.
Will they take care of that? Because
Yes.
what I wasn't sure of
Preventative
was-
parts, labor, they'll come up and make sure.
When does that
those
start? When do they
batteries-
come up?
Because those are all rechargeable batteries, so
Yeah.
as part of preventative maintenance, they'll come up and charge them when they do their preventative maintenance.
You said that they run down really fast in the winter and therefore.
Well, just like
end
any
up-
battery runs down. The solar is supposed to keep it going, but if we have 3 days where we don't see the sun, sometimes it doesn't.
So what's our contingency? Because
So
I
I
think,
think keep backup batteries.
okay, and then.
Or
they'll be
figure out what
replaced.
charge, or figure out what they utilize to charge them, and we can have a charging station for it down at the highway garage and just have them charge the
Yeah.
batteries.
I think to your point, we need to work out what's going wrong with them and how to keep them up and running, because I think that they've been non-functional for too long. I think that the contract should help with that, but it also sounds like the contract won't totally take care of that, so we need to just work it out.
No, also the fact that we have lack of enforcement officers that generally did maintenance work on them and emptied them regularly and made sure that paper was in them regularly. Some of the issues we have is if they ran out of paper or they're full and nobody's maintaining them. But we don't have the staff, and we don't have a staff to maintain them, so that's another portion of the issue.
And enforcement. Yeah. Lack thereof.
All things to work on.
And then what else is still up in the air is, what do we do with Parkside, Lower Parkside, and the Stewart's lot? If we want to redo that. So we can talk about that in a workshop.
That
Yeah, I think
we
that's
had time to
workshop.
wait
Yeah.
on, right?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else under new old business?
Kind of, sort of.
Go.
Just wondering, the end of this month, LP 23 is out of the beach house. And I know we're asked to find something. But what do we do with the parking lot? I mean, is
Depends
that,
on what happens with where they were, first off.
well, so there's like 8 or 9 spots. Brad took the signs down that said that they was reserved for LP 23. Does that become all handicap maybe for the beach access? I mean, until we find a tenant for the building, it's gonna get used. People are gonna, unless we block it off,
I think we make it all until,
until we get a use for the building.
right.
Do you need, 12 spaces?
There's 12 in there?
that.
I don't think it's
There's at
that.
least 8.
I was gonna say 8.
Do you need 8 handicap?
But you know, there's more handicap than that. Because everybody's,
Are you asking because of the size of the beach? What's the required number?
Well, I'm just saying, if we just limit it to handicap,
Well,
they're not being fully utilized.
there are 2 handicap spots on Parkside from the post office. Would we be able to free them up then? I mean, the 2 that are on the street.
I think the 2 that are on the street are positioned so that they're near the ramps that get you up
okay.
onto the sidewalk.
All right.
Let's have a chance to talk with Brad
Sure.
about that and Chuck. But you make a note that we make sure we do that, okay?
Yeah, I think the only thing there is just if having them there and then removing them when there's a tenant would cause any issues, that's the only reason I can think of to not do it, but I think having them there in the short term.
And a tenant comes with a lot of restrictions, which are, because I maybe, task the board was if anyone can come up with any ideas. We've been trying now for 14 years. And
Well, does anyone remember, Peter? What they
Who's
were
Peter?
before Luge went in? What we had them, they were marked, I remember, because when Parkside got dug up and the lines got put underneath and the new conduit got put in, there were parking signs there. Because we covered them. And I don't recall what they
Before.
said.
I remember
You
Luge.
remember?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
It could have been
Luge was in there?
originally.
Yeah.
There were 2 handicap spots in there for LP 23, the 2 closest to the town hall.
But they definitely weren't all handicapped.
No, they
I'm
weren't.
just trying to remember what they were before we had tenants in there. Maybe
It's a
we
free
revert
for all.
back to,
I don't.
Like I say, let's
I think it was just open parks. I mean, people who go there for meetings, not that we have that many, but we have a couple meetings a week there. They park there.
so do we just label it beach house parking? And if there's a meeting, it leaves the spaces open.
let's talk with Chuck and
Yeah.
Brad and see what we did and what their suggestions are, and we'll make a decision from there.
If you don't put up any signs, you can't enforce it.
Right.
Right.
And if you have people who don't want to buy a permit, but they say, oh, we'll park in that empty lot. Or if you have people who rent apartments on Parkside who are finding it difficult for whatever reason, they'll park there. And you can't enforce the
That's who
parking.
was in there. It was Peacock Parking when, Peacock Apartments when we dug up.
And if you can't,
Parkside.
and if you don't have a sign, then you can't enforce it. And people just can park there and they won't be violating anything.
Well, like I say, let's look and see, and maybe it'll become metered paid parking, or we'll see. But let's talk about that.
Okay.
That's not a bad idea.
That's
And then the other thing you can put is no overnight parking. And time limit on the parking, 1 hour
Or
parking.
those could become the permit spots that are on the street now.
Are there any on Upper Parkside?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there
Yes,
are,
there's
by the toboggan.
Let's talk about that Tuesday.
That's a good,
Anything else?
No.
No. Okay. Nothing under mayor items. Any trustee reports?
There's another evening's LPBA meeting tomorrow night at Whiteface Lodge at 5:30. Should be nice. Anybody wants to show 5:30 to 7-ish.
I'm sorry, where is that?
Whiteface Lodge. We're trying to do every other, just to try to get some more people involved, and we do get some different people at the evening meetings. And we do at the morning meetings, especially restaurants and such.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Any questions from
The civilians?
Lauren Yates? Any questions there? Anybody with us online? Okay. Assume there are no comments. And the last thing before we adjourn and close out.
I think Janet had asked some sort
Sorry.
of
Should we
executive
do this
session,
before
although
dinner?
this should
Come back.
come first, yes. Do that
Yes.
first.
In recognition for ex-trustee Boulder Reed's time on the board, I think it's fair to say that 12 and a half years ago, Peter came on the board for a short time to straighten us out. Seeing a very high need here, it didn't take Peter very long before he realized a lot of the strange things we did were state mandated, municipally mandated, or in the union contracts. And he very quickly adapted to that and gave us his expertise for 12 years. I always knew that Peter at the hotel was very good at the construction end. I also didn't know that he was super good at reading contracts and keeping up on all of that. He's done a great job of that for 12 years. Can't say enough of thank you for it. So we have a plaque for you that to Peter Holdridge, gratitude service to the village of Lake Placid from April 2011 to April 2023. First as village trustee and then as deputy mayor, your dedication to this community was instrumental in making every project during your tenure a success, and the knowledge you shared with you will impact the future of Lake Placid for years to come. Thank you, Village of Lake Placid. Whoops, that's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I dominated anything. Does anyone else have any comments they'd like to make? All
We'll
set.
miss you, Peter.
Peter,
I miss you guys.
are you still gonna come see me and catch up?
Another family.
I gotta make sure I got candy.
Now, we just have to do a fast, and Janet, percent would be fast, executive session, we'll move to save a bunch of spots.
Okay.
See you there.
Okay, so we will be shutting down here now since this is an executive session. If someone from the.
Somebody has to make them.
Yeah.
Lauren,
Oh,
do you-
just going to suggest that.
Lauren, are you there? Did you have any questions before we have to go into executive session?
She's just running it to record it.
Okay, we tried.
Janet, do I have to be here for your birthday?
Not unless you want to.
Mike's birthday.
No, tell them happy birthday.
Thank you.
So can I get a first and a second to go into executive?
Make a motion.
Second. Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
You don't have to.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you all.